Welcome to the Hormone Hub, your go-to source for the conversations every woman in her 40s and 50s needs to have. I'm your host, Kylie Pinwill, your nutritionist helping you navigate your way through perimenopause, menopause and beyond so you can say goodbye to the endless fatigue, unexplained weight gain, hot flushes, PMS, mood changes and more that come on this hormonal roller coaster. If you missed the memo or think this is only for women of a certain age, ladies, it's time to think again. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss any of my latest episodes, which are released every week. Share it with your friends, your sweaty sisters. The more we talk, the more we help each other. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Hormone Hub. It is great to have you here. We are currently, and I missed celebrating our 26th episode. So we are now, I think, on episode 29, which means that we have done 6 months worth of podcasts. So every week they are released and we've gone 6 months. And each week the listeners get more and more. We get lots more beautiful feedback. So thank you, everyone, so much for listening. I truly do appreciate it. Now, today we're going to talk about something that comes up a lot, and I've had a lot of these conversations in the last couple of weeks, and it is about weight loss surgery. So let me just say, it is a massive business, all right? It is an industry. Weight loss, diet's an industry. Nutritional supplements are a massive money-making industry. All of those nutrition warehouses and all that, the crap that's in those shops, it's huge. It's big bucks. And so is weight loss surgery. So, let me just say it is not about your health. Those weight loss surgeons are not doing it for your benefit. It is all about the dollars. Okay, so it's been interesting. I've worked with quite a lot of women who have had the surgery, and then, we've worked with them sort of in the 12 months to 2 years to 5 years after they've had the surgery. They still need help. But I'm going to talk a bit about why that is today. Now, to be totally transparent with you, yes, I also run a weight loss program. We have the Weight Loss Wisdom program, which is, a weight loss program designed to shift that stubborn hormonal weight and shift it fast. But a big part of that program is giving you the tools for what we do after the weight comes off. And that's a really key point. And also, in the Well Balanced Woman program that I run, yes, 100%, the women who have weight loss as a goal are losing weight on that program. But we do it in a way where you are supported the whole way through. And I want to do it in a way that is, sustainable. So it's something that, we are losing it in a safe way. And it also in a way that you won't need to do another diet after that. So there's a big sort of education process about, what you eat, how you think about food, your relationship with food. And we want it to be ongoing, something that fits in with your life. So that's why, there's no meal plans, there's no, prescriptive program going on for 12 weeks because that's not realistic and that's not something that you're going to be sustained. We all know, when you come off a diet, what's the first thing you do? You put the weight back on, generally, and then some. So yes, I do have a weight loss program, but it's, my own integrity is in there as well. And I genuinely care about you and your long-term health, and the weight loss is definitely a part of that. So I just wanted to kind of go, yes, we're talking about dieting and yes, we're talking about weight loss. And yes, I also have a program, but, I would like to think that I do it in a way that I actually do care with you, doing it with a bit of integrity. All right. So I'm a firm believer that, by creating a healthy body, which means we're looking at those underlying things. So this means, what we want to do, or what we do when we work with women, is we look at, how do we balance out your hormones? So this means, supporting your blood sugar. It means supporting your thyroid. It means managing your stress hormones. So balanced hormones, we're looking at all of your hormones to support them so they function well. It means, creating a healthy body means having good digestion. It means you're absorbing the nutrients from your food. It means you're eliminating properly. So it means that there's no bloating, there's no constipation, there's no reflux, nausea, heartburn, all of that sort of stuff. We want to address that so your digestive system's working well. Creating a healthy body also means having effective detoxification pathways. When we lose weight, we break down body fat, it's processed in our liver, and then we literally poop it out. So, we want to make sure, that digestive system's working so we can poop out your fat, which is how it works. And then, if we've got a sluggish liver, our detox processes are going to be sluggish. So we want to make sure all of these, underlying body functions are well, and weight loss comes naturally as a part of creating a healthier body. So I hope that makes sort of sense. So I just sort of want to say, and then, to layer that in with lifestyle and mindset pieces, because we want to create a good relationship with food. And we also want you, in the driver's seat. So you know your body better than anyone else. So if you, know your body, you're able to prioritize your own health and well-being. Okay. So it is a process, 100%, of losing weight and keeping it off for good. It's not easy, but, that's where with the right support, you can do it. And I just want to say, having weight loss surgery, or going on, weight loss medications and things like that, like it might seem like the quick fix. It might seem like the golden ticket to weight loss, particularly if you've struggled with weight gain, long term, or for a good portion of your adult life. It can seem like the magic bullet. But I just want to kind of talk about today, some of the downsides, which, a lot of women going into this aren't necessarily aware of. Okay. All right. So let's have a look at, what are the surgical options being offered out there? So weight loss surgery, it's often also called bariatric surgery. And, there's a couple of different versions of it, but it's all about, making your stomach smaller. And the idea is, you've got a smaller stomach capacity, so you can only put a smaller amount of food in there. Now, during the surgery, there's a couple of different ways, and we'll sort of have a look at it. And, surgery comes with risks, obviously. So bariatric surgery affects the stomach and it affects how food's digested. It's designed to make your stomach smaller, which causes you to feel full after you've only had a small amount of food. Now, the three most common types of bariatric surgery, we've got lap band surgery, also called gastric banding. We've got gastric bypass surgery, and we've also got gastric sleeve surgery. And the surgery is normally done, regardless of which type you have, it's normally done as a keyhole procedure. So just sort of small cuts in your abdomen. Sometimes they do need to do open surgery with a larger cut. So with lap band surgery, you've got an adjustable ring that's put around the top part of your stomach. So this creates a really small pouch that, increases the amount of time that the food remains in that top part of the stomach. Then we've got gastric bypass. So this used to be called stomach stapling. So this is where, they join sort of the stomach directly to the small intestine, and they actually remove some of the intestine. So your food actually bypasses most of your stomach. So you're absorbing fewer calories. So it's going straight to your intestines. Then we've got gastric sleeve, and this is where, they actually remove most of your stomach, including the part that makes your ghrelin hormone, which is your hunger and your appetite hormone. So generally, following the surgery, the weight loss is quite rapid. You've just sort of had this surgery, it's quite a big investment, and, you're obviously motivated to keep going. The weight starts coming off because you're not able to eat very much food. So the weight's dropping off and, it's exciting. So you're motivated to keep going. Now, where I have seen this work brilliantly, and I've worked with, sort of a handful of women who have had the surgery, and for them, it was the best thing ever. They lost the weight and they were able to keep it off. Now, these women all had one thing in common, and that was the fact that they weren't food orientated in the first place. Okay, so they weren't emotional eaters. They weren't big eaters. They were just kind of, went down the path of, poor diet, poor lifestyle choices. Food was kind of fuel. So whatever they ate, obviously wasn't a great choice, and the weight kind of went on from them. Now, these women, because they weren't particularly attached to food, the fact that they then weren't able to eat much food wasn't a deal breaker. So these are the women where the surgery has been quite effective. They've changed what they've eaten, don't have to eat much food, and, that worked really well for them. Now, I have worked with a lot more women where they've had the surgery, but they enjoy their food. And they also, there's generally an emotional eating element too, perhaps why they gained weight in the first place or why they had struggled long-term with weight. So it's sort of interesting. So these sort of women, the surgery isn't addressing that underlying cause of why they have, been carrying so much weight for such a long time. And, this is where it kind of gets really heartbreaking because they've gone into the surgery thinking, right, this is it. I'm finally once and for all going to be done with this issue. And it's not that simple, okay? So first up, just wanted to kind of like have a look, like how much money are we talking for these surgery? Now, of course, I'm just going to throw out a blanket sort of figure. Now, I have got this from one of the Health Fund websites. So generally for the surgery, and they all sort of, the costs are slightly different, but if you have private health insurance, you're going to be out of pocket between about $3,000 to $7,000. Okay. Now, if that's with private health insurance. Now, if you don't have private health insurance, you're looking at anywhere sort of between $12,000 to $18,000. These are Australian dollars. If you don't have private health insurance that covers bariatric surgery. All right. And generally, the private health cover that covers the surgery is your top cover. Okay, and then you've got a few variable factors, so things like your initial consultations and your lead-up consultations and your follow-up consultations with the specialist or the surgeon. So that can be, anywhere generally between, say $100 to $200 for your appointments. Then, of course, it depends on the type of surgery you've chosen. It also depends on the surgeon's fee. You might have an assistant surgeon. You will definitely have an anaesthetist who has his own fees or her own fees. Then you've got your hospital fees and then, any medications that are prescribed following the surgery. So, it's a significant investment. So it's something that you want to be very well aware of, the good, the bad, and the ugly before you jump in and do it for sure. This Hormone Hub episode is sponsored by my Weight Loss Wisdom program. Weight Loss Wisdom is an effective, rapid, fast weight loss program designed to help you shift stubborn body fat, lose unwanted kilos, and most importantly, give you a proven system to keep it off. No more yo-yo dieting on my watch. Specifically created for women in their 40s and 50s who are going through perimenopause and menopause, we target hormonal weight gain so you'll feel happier in your own skin and give you the confidence to walk back into your wardrobe and know your clothes are going to feel great. You don't have to do this alone. You're supported every step of the way with our team of qualified nutritionists. The link with all the details is over in our show notes. or you can find it at kyliepinwell.com/weight loss wisdom. Now, where I sort of come into this whole picture is women who have had the surgery, and it's generally like 2 or 3 years after the surgery. They've lost that weight initially and it has started to come back on. Some cases, all the weight has been regained. Other cases, they're well on their way to getting this weight back, and they're terrified. They do not want this weight back, which I get it. Now, the problem is when your stomach's reduced to the size of a golf ball, you can't get much food in there, which is the whole point of the surgery, right? But what happens is, you can't eat, you're very limited with the protein that you can have. You're very limited with, the amount of fiber that you can have, because, you don't want that fiber sort of going into your stomach and swelling, because there's not enough room, and it does cause a lot of discomfort. So, you're missing out right from the get-go on key nutrients. So, there's a nutritional deficiency aspect happening. And this obviously, isn't always evident at the beginning, but certainly, a year or two down the track, when you've been, quite restricted with how much food and the variety of food you can eat, it does start to show up as nutritional deficiencies. Fiber, so this is where it gets really interesting. So it starts to affect your gut health, because fiber feeds our good gut bugs. All right. So if we aren't getting enough fiber, we're not getting enough prebiotics into our diet. So we're not feeding our good gut bugs, and our gut health suffers. So this then has a knock-on effect to, in our gut, we make our neurotransmitters, which keeps, our mental health on track. It helps support our immune system. There's so much that goes on in our digestive system, and there's so much that, our gut health reflects in our overall health. So when we're not getting that fiber, it does start to, reflect a year or two down the track in our overall health. And the other thing is, if you are, if emotional eating was sort of like a key piece for you, you might be restricted and you might not be able to eat much protein. You might not be able to eat much in the way of fiber. But, one of my ladies, she was happy to share that, you can still eat a litre of ice cream. Okay, because that ice cream goes quite easily into that, or through that restricted space. Likewise, chocolate, soft drinks. So all of those high calories that don't offer much nutritional value, it still kind of, is an issue. And because you haven't sort of addressed that, emotional side, you haven't addressed that lifestyle side, that mindset piece. So, you're still in that restrictive food kind of mindset because you can only eat a small amount. So I just sort of wanted to kind of go into that a bit today and just sort of say, look, it is entirely your choice. But before you jump in thinking it's the be all and end all or the magic ticket to all your problems, it may actually not be. So just to sort of, give you the upside and also sort of give you the downside as well, that it's not always the quick fix or the ideal weight loss utopia. Okay, so really there is no other, dodging around it. And if you want to lose weight, if you want to, make some changes, it needs to be a combination of what you're eating. It needs to be a combination of, your physical activity and the way you move your body. It needs to be those lifestyle and mindset changes. And, in my experience, the women who, we sort of take it, we work on those underneath levels of sorting out your digestion, supporting your detox, supporting your hormones, balancing your hormones, managing your blood sugar, managing your stress, these underlying pieces, when we start to tap into those, that is what is going to support your long-term health and ultimately long-term weight loss. So it's not just about, losing weight, it's about improving that overall health. And, the key really is consistency. So the best kind of, diet for you, or the best sort of way of eating for you, is the one that you can sustain long term. So rather than going into something with the idea of, oh, I'm on a diet, I'm going to lose weight, because if we're on a diet, we're going to come off a diet at some point. So we want to go into it going, you know what, I am making solid, consistent changes, to improve my overall health. All right, so I hope that makes sense. And if you would like to kind of, explore this further, find out more about what we have to offer and the programs that we have available to support you to make those changes, I would love to hear from you. So the link to my website is in the show notes, and you can always connect with me via email or via the Hormone Hub Facebook group as well. Okay, so I hope this was helpful, and I hope that, if this is something that you have been considering, or something that you've been through and you're struggling a year or two down the track, just know that there is definitely support out there for you. Okay, everyone, thanks for listening, and I'll see you next week. Bye now. Thank you for taking the time to listen today. You can head on over to the show notes at kyliepinwell.com/podcast, where you'll find all the links, and I have a little bonus surprise waiting for you. Before we go, it would mean the world to me if you head on over to your favourite podcasts channel, subscribe and leave a review. Make sure to screenshot it, DM it to me so I can thank you personally. Then stay tuned for next week's episode. Can't wait to see you then.